got a new camera and I'm so excited. Here she is. It's literally the cutest camera I've ever seen. This is on the new camera. If you can't already tell from the title, I got the Sony ZV-E10 and I'm going to tell you guys all about the things that I personally was curious about, the pricing, and just like my different thoughts and impressions of it as someone who vlogs almost every day. I also want to start off this video by saying I'm not a camera expert. I'm not a tech person in any way. I really enjoy watching videos of people talking about products who are just like me, just kind of like average vlogger people who just want something that you can just turn on and use. One of the first things I wanted to mention, and I've said this on my channel a couple of times, is that if you are just starting a channel or you're just starting taking photos or videos and just something you're kind of interested in but you're not sure if you really like it, you do not need to get a camera, okay? Like, if you have a phone that has a camera on it, chances are it's got amazing quality. And I tell people all the time who want to start YouTube channels, like, don't buy a camera. I don't think I bought a camera for like a year or 2 years when I first started my channel. I think it can also be kind of upsetting if you invest in something super expensive and then you realize you don't like making videos, or maybe it's not something you spend as much time on as you thought you would. Don't let anyone tell you that you have to have a camera to start a channel or to start making videos or editing or anything like that. That's just not true. So I just want to say that right off the bat. Let's open up this camera and see what it comes with and what's in the box. As you can see, this is what the outside looks like. There are two different colors that the camera comes in, the white version and the black version. I decided to get the white one just because I thought it was really pretty and fun, and you know, why not? So when you open it, you just have your normal little pamphlets in there. There's some instruction manual stuff. Honestly, none of this was too helpful except for the quick start manual, which I did definitely use when I actually set it up. I also want to note that this specifically is the Sony ZV-E10 kit, so it comes with the lens, and I'm going to talk about that later because I got really confused about that at one point when I was trying to order it. In the box, you have this little cable that you can use to charge the camera. You can only charge the battery while it's in the camera unless you get an external battery charger, which I'm planning on doing. You also have this camera strap, which honestly I should use, but will I be using? No, I will not be using this. I've tried putting them on my cameras before and it just ends up getting in the way and I don't really find it that useful. Then you have this little packet. It's actually a windscreen for the microphone, which I was really excited about because this is something I've been wanting for a long time. This is the block that you can use for the charging cord. I like that they included that in there because I did not have one. And then this is the actual camera body with the lens attached. In the kit, the camera is going to come with the lens already on it, but you can also have the option to just buy the camera body by itself, which again I'm going to talk about later. But here's a little overview of what it looks like. It's actually a lot smaller than I anticipated. You can kind of tell by the size of my hand and how big the camera itself is. Here is a little overview of everything that comes in the kit. I also wanted to show you guys a little bit of close-ups of the camera with the lens attached. Honestly, you can kind of hold it in one hand. It does get a little heavy after a while if you're just holding it with your one arm, but it does come with a little lens cap, and I wanted to show you guys what the lens looks like when you take the cap off, and then you can also obviously remove and reattach the lens. I'm really excited to have a camera that can actually have different lenses on it. Like, I'm so excited for that. I also want to show you guys how the screen rotates. You can have a bunch of different configurations, which is actually really nice. My favorite thing about it is that you can close it and protect the screen from being scratched, and then it's really easy to just slide on the windscreen, and this protects the microphone, like I said, which I also was a huge fan of. Okay, now let's talk about price, because honestly I think it's one of the most important aspects when you're picking out a camera. I've actually seen a couple places where this camera, the Sony ZV-E10, is referred to as a budget camera. I don't think that there really is such a thing as a budget camera because cameras are so expensive. This one is under $1,000, does cost less than other cameras, but no, it's not a budget camera. I feel like that's kind of misleading to say. So this camera includes including the lens, the kit lens, is about $800, and I would highly suggest looking at a bunch of different retailers before you pick where you want to get it from. I decided to order mine online just because it was more convenient for me. I would definitely look at Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, Target, the Sony website, just a bunch of different places, and kind of comparing them to see what the different prices are, because they can vary a little bit. I decided to get mine from Best Buy, and that was not the most affordable place to get it, so let me explain why. My Canon camera broke, and I was considering repairing it instead of getting a new camera, but I got an estimate that would cost $500 to repair that camera. So I was keeping that in mind, and on that old Canon camera, I just had the original warranty. I didn't have any kind of insurance or anything on it, and obviously I wished that I did once it broke. So I had to get this one from Best Buy because their Geek Squad protection program, where you can bring in your electronics and have them fixed for you, is really, really great. I did pay about $800 for the camera and the lens. I also paid about $60 for the Geek Squad protection from Best Buy, and then I also paid about $50 in sales tax. So keep that in mind. One of the main reasons I wanted to get this camera was because it has a detachable lens. Since I had the chance to upgrade to something different, I really wanted to get something that allowed me to have that capability of getting different lenses. I've never had that before, and it's super fun to think of like getting a wide angle lens or just different lenses to kind of change the vibe of the videos that I'm taking. This lens that comes with is not a wide angle lens, which is something I really, really want. But honestly, I did not have the energy or time to figure out like what best wide angle lens to get. So I decided to just get the kit lens. This one's just kind of a basic close in lens, and it also does zoom. So you can manually zoom it like this. No, like this, there you go. This is as far in as it goes. There's my eyeball. So it can definitely zoom in and be a pretty high quality image, which is pretty cool. It is kind of close cropped. Like I'm sitting far away from the camera right now, like maybe 2 arm lengths away, just to be able to be framed in the shot like this. So that's another thing to keep in mind with the camera. I also want to tell you guys, because this was part of the longest research bit that I did while looking for this camera, is that there are different versions of this camera, and then they also sell it in different ways. So you will find a lot of listings for this camera, and it'll be significantly more affordable than other listings, and you'll be like, why is this one like $100 less? If you look at it more, you will realize that they're only selling the body of the camera. I also wanted to flag that Sony also makes the Sony ZV-E10, I believe it's called. It's a lot more affordable than this one, but it's a point and shoot camera, so again, you don't have the advantage of being able to get different lenses, but that's just something to keep in mind if you're interested in getting something like that. I want to show you guys some comparison clips because I'm also kind of curious between this new Sony ZV-E10, my iPhone, the front and back camera, which I do use for vlogging sometimes, and then my super old archaic Canon SX730HS. Okay, this is the example of the Sony ZV-E10, the automatic portrait mode video. I did turn off the skin blurring effect because when you originally get it in the portrait mode, it turns on this really creepy skin blurring Facetune situation, and it turned on immediately and it freaked me out. Like, it's very creepy looking. And I do not like any of those types of things on any of my content, so I turned it off. But besides that, none of the settings are changed in the portrait mode, and this is how the audio sounds. This is the front camera and audio of my iPhone. Honestly, I think it's pretty good. I know the front camera obviously is not as good quality as the back camera, but I wanted to include it because if you are vlogging, it's very difficult to use the back camera on a phone, but I think it definitely works in a pinch, especially if you're just starting to make videos. Okay, this is the back camera of my iPhone. I often will use this in 0.5 when I'm just walking outside or doing something where I don't need to talk to the camera and be able to see what I'm talking to. Again, it's very difficult to vlog like this, but I think that it can have really high quality footage if you have it in like a tripod or something, and the audio is honestly not that bad. Here is the Canon SX730HS with just the normal microphone, the internal microphone in it. I do think that it honestly does not look bad with just, you know, being completely still, full light, all that stuff. It's really not that bad, but especially the video, it's really not built for video, so the low light on this is really rough, and the contrast being like blown out and contrast between whites and stuff like that is very rough when I'm trying to use this as a vlog camera. So I do think it's great just as a little point and shoot photo camera though, but this is what we got going on. Initially, I'm definitely the most excited about being able to get new lenses eventually. I'm thinking about possibly trying a wide angle lens adapter to kind of hook on to this lens. I've seen some people use those and say that they do help a little bit, so I definitely want to try that and see how it goes. I think initially it's definitely a little bit different than what I'm used to, because I'm used to holding something that's more of this size and weight. So this Sony camera is definitely still pretty light and easy to hold. It's pretty compact, but obviously it weighs more just with the addition of the lens, so it's a little bit more heavy. I also want to mention, like, if you are new to vlogging, I think it's a little bit different to have the screen flip out on the side, kind of like a camcorder style. This is more what I'm used to, where the screen flips up. It's a little bit easier to maintain eye contact with the lens and the camera if you are using one that has the screen on top like this, especially if you're not used to talking to a camera. But I think honestly, if you're like me and you talk to a camera every single day, it's pretty easy to adjust to having the screen flip out on the side instead of on top. If you're watching this right now, please subscribe. I make a ton of fun, productive vlogs talking about post-grad through realities of job hunting and just emotions in your 20s, and a lot of really raw, fun stuff that I think you will like. So you should definitely subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!